Normandy 44 by Mark Simich. It's going to be a live playthrough. Just moved away from the Dark Summer, and so many people talking about Normandy 44, making these comparisons. It's probably you could make an argument it's the most similar game, Normandy 44, to the Dark Summer. So I thought I'd return to this. I have played this before, and give it a go. And I thought I'd share the live playthrough. So this is the 2010 edition game published by GMT Games. I'm using the second edition rules from 2015 as available on the GMT website, and there is a third edition currently on the GMT Games P500. So if this looks interesting, check that out. I'm going to do a comparison video between this and the Dark Summer. Again, a lot of people making these comparisons. The first thing, I will make some sort of just preliminary comments here. The scale is roughly the same in terms of map scale. The map looks very familiar, and I was comparing the Cotentin Peninsula earlier, and it's almost exactly the same size. This map is it's about the same 22 by 34 inch size piece of paper. The Dark Summer, of course, cuts the Cotentin Peninsula around Valence and Montebourg, around here, so it cuts that northern tip off and pulls the map down to the south another couple of hexes or so. So you have more focus on the sort of main Normandy region, less on the northern tip of the peninsula. So the scale is roughly the same. The map here cuts off at Granville and Falaise. It's as far south as we go. Whereas in the Dark Summer, again, it's roughly a third of the way up the map. And of course, the Dark Summer cuts off, it doesn't have the sea zone and all this administrative area. So Normandy 44 has space for a lot of that administration. Off the bat, I will acknowledge that this is a far more complex game. There's a lot more, I guess what we might call chrome or historical flavour or theme to keep in your head. It's one of the things I love about Mark Simich games, that this flavour really helps recreate the sense of fighting out in Normandy. But there's also a lot that a clumsy gamer like me easily misses. As I said, I have played this before. I'm pretty certain I've made a lot of rules errors in the past. I'm going to try and tread carefully, but as always, if you spot anything, let me know and I'll see what I can do to correct it. So we are, looking at Normandy. We have German defenders all set out. We have, so the detail here in Normandy 44 is also laid out through the scale of units that we're dealing with. We are dealing with a mix of battalion, regiment. We have, I'm sure, here we go. Over here we have some brigades, and more brigades coming on, of course. There may be, what else do we have coming on? Yeah, that's about it. I don't know if there are any division level units. I don't think there are. So mainly looking at battalion, regiment, brigade level. But the way this plays out, and again, I've got a full playthrough of Normandy 44 on the channel. The way this tends to play out is you'll be keeping these divisions together, but they won't necessarily be stacked together. There are stricter stacking limitations in Normandy 44. Basically, you can have 4 stacking points in a hex, and if a unit has a strength of 1 or 2, it counts as 1 stacking point. So this would be 1 stacking point. And you have 1, 2, 3 stacking points, for example. So these guys could all stack together. In fact, these 4 units could all stack together, I believe. But a unit with a strength of 3 or more counts as 2 stacking points. So you could have 2 of these tank units stacking together. Plus, you can have some bonus units. You can have silhouetted units. 1 free silhouetted unit stacking in a hex. You can have any number of other types of units like headquarters. I believe strong points are free stacking. Headquarters, tank units. I mentioned 1 free silhouetted unit. So yeah, you will have some sort of brigades and regiments stacking together, but it won't be as sort of consolidated as the Dark Summer. You may recall in the Dark Summer we had sort of entire formations, or divisions. I'm still using the language of the Dark Summer. Entire divisions stacking together in a hex. In this, the way I've played in the past, it was far more spread out. Now, the last time I played this, incidentally, the Germans won. They actually broke through, from memory, I think they broke through around Bayeux and drove to the beach and shattered the Allies. The Allies suffered horrifically from terrible, I just remember, terrible weather and terrible die rolls. So we'll see how this plays out. What else is there to note before we kind of get going? Yes, another important thing. A turn is 1 day, and it's an I go, you go type of system. So there's no chip draw. It is pretty straightforward. You have a sort of initial administrative phase, a German player turn, and then an Allied player turn, and then you repeat. But it goes day by day, so there's much slower progress through the campaign compared to the Dark Summer. So everything that I've kind of discussed thus far points to the greater detail, granularity, historical theme and flavour. This is certainly a more, as far as, sort of, if we think of a spectrum of sort of game to simulation, I'd say the Dark Summer is more of a gamey game, whereas Normandy 44 is more of a simulation, relatively speaking. You can take that even further and look at sort of, I'd say probably the next step along. You could look at Day of Days, or the Mighty Endeavour, maybe. And then you sort of start to go into the monster games like GMT's The Battle for Normandy, decision games as Atlantic War, and The Killing Ground / Overlord by New England Simulations. The Killing Ground Overlord seems to be between sort of, somewhere between there. All right, I think I've spoken enough. Let's get started with this invasion. Now, there's a special invasion turn sequence of play. The first thing we do is roll for the scatter for our airborne units. But you know what? Before I do any of that, I've got to find myself some dice. So give me a second. All right, I don't know if these are on the shelf. So hey, John. Look, for Dark Summer is certainly an easier game to play. I still made rules errors with the Dark Summer. You can watch my playthrough of that, but it's easy to play. There's a lot more to keep in your head with Normandy 44. A lot of unit restrictions, for example. Let me run through. I'm going to be talking again before I get anything done. But the Ost units are restricted. They can't move on the first turn. Units with a black, black bordered number are restricted, and they can't move until enemy forces move within, what's the rule again? Within 2 hexes, I think. Restricted movement, where is it? And then the rules are in here somewhere. Incidentally, the rules are roughly the same length. You're looking at roughly 22 pages of rules for the Dark Summer, 22 pages for Normandy. It's just the nature of the rules in Normandy. There's many, many exceptions. Can create some confusion and mistakes, basically. Easy things to forget. Like bocage rules, again, a whole new series of bocage rules for this. Special rules for city, and it's not just something that you can kind of summarize easily on the terrain effects chart. Where is bocage? Incidentally, here it is. So, as I say, it stops retreat, but it also stops advance unless you're following a road. There's flooded hexes and then flooded hex sides, wooded terrain, hills, elevation. Special rules for the strong points, all these little special rules throughout the game that you've got to kind of keep in mind. Okay, let's get going with this invasion. I've got a roll for the scatter of all airborne units, and let's shift you over here, and we might focus on the 3 British Commonwealth airborne units in this area. All right, we will start with the third. And basically, they've been placed in their drop hexes. They're designated. Then I make a die roll on the airborne scatter table, which is here. So we're looking here at the 6th. So we look here. A roll of 4, 2, 6 means they land. A roll of 3 means they are scattered. And I need to I don't have any scattered markers. So let me just grab some markers to substitute for scattered. All right, going to use some little yellow dots. So they are scattered. Basically, this comes off in the recovery phase, which will happen. When does this happen? At the start of the Allied turn. They can't move or attack, receive replacements, build IPs. Yeah, they retain their full defense and may do a determined defense. Okay. At least they didn't suffer a step loss. Next unit along, we'll do these guys. 5-3. They, unfortunately, a roll of 2 means that they are scattered and suffer a step loss. Yeah. And I record 1 airborne replacement. All right, next unit over here. A roll of 1. Oh my God. This is another step loss and scatter result. Not looking good for the 6 airborne. Bad start. Oh wait, it's a +1 for glider units. They're not gliders, are they? They're not treated as gliders, at least. There were some gliders there, but they're not technically glider units. This, incidentally, is a glider unit which arrives on turn 2. All right, let's. I'll bring you over to the American airborne. And we'll do the 82nd around here. First unit on the left. Oh my God. They are scattered. This is a roll of 1. So they are scattered and lose 2 steps. So straight away, we have to bring an airborne cadre on, and that's an important unit there. Next unit, another 1. They are reduced 2 step losses, and of course they are scattered, so we'll put some little markers on them. It's 5 scatter results out of 5 thus far. I haven't rolled above a 4. And the last 82nd unit, a 2, which is another scattered 2 step loss result. So the 82nd Airborne have been absolutely shattered by these landings. And I'm already frustrated. All right, not looking good. They're down to 1 step. Basically what this means is that the 82nd Airborne can't attack. Yeah, they've just landed and the 82nd Airborne are down to 1 step cadre units with defense values only. Absolutely gutting for an allied player. Let's look at the 100 first. We'll work bottom to top. I roll a 2. That's an S1, so they take a step loss and are scattered. Next one up, I roll a 3. which is an S1. And they are scattered. And last one, A5. We get one out of the entire airborne invasion. We have one regiment not scattered. I think that's 3 airborne divisions, 1 regiment not scattered. That's utterly demoralising for the Allies. God, okay. From there, airborne invasion done, we shift to the landing hexes. And while we're here at Omaha, we may as well do the Omaha invasion. Oh, I haven't separated these guys into their landing beaches. So we've got the initial assault is the 8th and 12th of the 4th. These guys with 70th. And these guys are the follow-up units. Let's see. They're arriving on, where are they? They're arriving on turn 2, okay. Oh no, sorry, they come down here. I bumped them. Okay. So, the way the invasion works is there is another special invasion table, which you can see at the top here. We look at Utah Beach, and we basically make a simple D6 die roll to figure out what happens. We roll a 3, so we get an A1 D1 result. Let me double check this. 28. Yep, A1 D1. So it's a 1-step strong point, which is eliminated, and we have A1, so we'll have them take a loss and move in, and they can advance 1. I need to check if that's just the yeah, the first hex of advance must be into the beach hex. They'll advance into the vacated beach and stop. Now we roll for our DDs separately, and there's no differentiation between the beaches here. It's just one die roll. Basically, here's the thing: 1 to 3, they take a step loss. It's a 5, so no effect, and they land. We have our DDs ashore at Utah Beach. We'll shift now to the Rangers at Pointe du Hoc. They use, I believe, the all others table for the beach. Yeah, they do. So we roll for them. They suffer a 1 result, an A2 D1 result. So the landing there fails. It's the 3rd time I've failed to land at Pointe du Hoc. And so the 5th Battalion must land at Utah as part of the follow-up wave. That's an A2D1 result, which is interesting, I think. And technically the defenders take a loss as well. Now, we haven't done this setup for here properly either yet. We've got the 29th Division with 741. Yeah, those guys I think landing out on Charlie and Dog Beach. And then the 1st Division, of course, on the right, landing with 743, here we are, DD, on Easy Fox. With the rest, it's follow-up. So we should have 26 and 175th. 175th, 26, yep, so this is the follow-up in that box. We've got 2 die rolls to make here against Charlie Dog and then Easy Fox. Let's make a die roll for the left. And again, this is another separate table. We're looking at Omaha on the left there. So this is the more dangerous column to be rolling on. And I roll a 1, I roll a 1, which is an A1 result, and no actual effect to. This is exactly how the last playthrough of this game went. Yeah, this is called a bloody Omaha result. If you roll a 1, you take a step loss and roll again. It's another 1. Yep, that's absolutely horrific. All those airborne scatter results. And now this. I roll again, and a 4. That should dislodge the defenders, surely. A1, D1 result. Okay, so they're reduced to cadre level. But they take a loss. Oops, I went through them there. Yeah, and I advance into Viville-sur-Mer, just managing to secure it, but with heavy losses, 3 steps of losses. I roll for my DD tank as well, and of course it dies, or at least takes a step loss and comes ashore. Terrible, terrible start for the Allies. All right, we've still got this other hex here on the right. And again, Omaha roll. A roll of 3 is an exchange. I will double check. Each side loses 1 step. The opposing player makes that determination. Doesn't really matter because they're both the same. Strong point is gone. Limited advance. Okay, so I don't know what the difference is between an exchange and an A1 D1 result on this invasion table. Most of the results are A1 D1, and then there's this exchange result. Anyway. And now we roll for our DD, and it lands safely. All right, now we've got the Commonwealth beaches over here on the right. And we'll start here with Gold Beach, counts as all other beaches. A roll of 4 is an A1 D1 result. And they advance. DD tank takes a step loss. And then on the right, a roll of 5 is an A1 D1. But an advance 2, so I can go 1, 2 and push into there. My DD tank lands safely and can push in there. Now that's the first decent result for the Allies thus far. All right, looking at Juno Beach on the left. A die roll of 1 is an A2 D1 result, so some heavy losses. And they land. DD tank also takes a hit. Poor Canadians. On the right, we have another one, A2 D1. And the DD tank takes a step loss. And just the 1 hex of advance. All right, Sword Beach. Let's see what we can do here. 3 is an A1 D1. And DD tank lands safely. Actually, we'll take that from the infantry. Yeah, and we've landed. Okay, so that's the... that is not how you do an invasion turn. Terrible, 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 terrible start for the Allies. Horrific losses on Charlie Dog Beaches on Omaha. Losses throughout Gold and Juno. 82nd Airborne completely spent as a force. It's already kind of really scary for the Allies. We now have, that's the special invasion phase. Now we have the German player turn. German units get basically their full unit allowance except for those restricted movement and Ost units. And units of the 21st Panzer Division, kind of around this area here, have a restricted movement allowance of just 3. I'll also point out that the first turn is always overcast. You'll see the weather marker up here. We don't have any air support, but we do have some naval support, I believe, on this first turn. So Germans, they're going to try and smash these paratroopers back across the Orne. 3 movement points. And I'll keep my terrain effects chart handy. I also need to keep kind of a reminder of weather effects because got so many play aids printed off. Just none of them summarize the weather effects. Weather, okay, overcast. Primary movement is reduced to half a movement point per hex for those mechanised units. Yep. So I can really, really hit the Allies here. I can wipe out that battalion. 1, 2, 3, they can make it down there as well. Actually, they can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 and push through. What else we got to the area? Let me check the I think it's around 17, section 17, these restricted movement units. Yep. They're released if at the start of a German move on turn 2 or later. Okay, so they will be released next turn. The Ost units can't move in this first turn. Okay. Yeah, sorry, just double checking everything. So German movement phase, I'll pull back a little bit just so you can see, try and get a sense of all the German units that are in this area. You can see all my administrative counters down here. Want to hit this unit here, so we'll go, that's a secondary road, which will cost me half a movement point. We can go 1 like that, 1, 2, actually 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 in there. I might even be able to hit Pegasus Bridge, Horsa Bridge, stop them getting across. So stacking here, I've got 4 units. I can even stack more in there if I wanted to. That counts as 2 sacking points. Okay, we have this infantry back here. Moving along secondary road, non-mech, half movement point. Yep, 1, 2, 3. They can't move. We've got 21st Panzer here. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't cost any extra to cross a major river, Hexside, if it's bridged, major road. All right, these guys down here. 1, 2, 3. Headquarters will move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Now, let's get our flak. These are parentheses means they can't attack. They can participate in attack, but they don't add their attack value. They're mainly used on the defense. And I could bring them into Strong Point Hillman. Might be a good place for them. 1, 2, into there. Okay, what else we got to worry about? Looking at Cruelli here. 1, 2, 3. Forward defense. Let's try and drive the Allies back into the sea. This is a bicycle unit. The white circled number means they get, I believe it's 6 movement points for strategic movement if they want. I'm kind of thinking, as the Germans, I know it's early and they don't have many reinforcements, but the Allies have suffered such horrific losses. If I can really hit them hard, maybe we can make this a short campaign, a short invasion. So, I've got to watch out. I mean, yeah, that invasion here went okay. So I've got to be careful about this area here. This, incidentally, is the army boundary line along here. Just as in the Dark Summer, units can operate 1 hex either side, so the Americans can cross over 1 hex, the British can cross over 1 hex. Want to defend Arromanches-les-Bains because this is where the Mulberry will be built. Once the Allies capture this, they put a Mulberry marker 5 turns ahead. If the Germans can delay that for as long as possible, it basically delays the construction of the Mulberry. So if I can get... I've got to kind of think about... Yeah, okay, so I'm going to actually put 2 forces here. 1, 2, 3. Really beef it up. Put that unit in there to create some Hexside bonds. And then these guys will... where do I set up German defences around Omaha Beach? Do I pull back behind the Or River there? Or do I push right in? I mean, these guys are weak. They can't attack with much. Maybe... I could defend Port en Bassin here. That's a town. Towns are much more, well, not much more, but they are more effective. Speaking in the review of The Dark Summer, how towns kind of are weak points, but it's more, I think it's more sort of accurate argument to be made in Normandy 44. So I'm going to push these guys into the town, and I'm going to push these guys along the river there just to hold that point. They're going to be reinforced. So first of all, we've got 1, 2, 3. We'll bring this, in effect, AT. 1, 2, 3 to reinforce that. Gives them a good defense strength there. And I think these guys will... They might even just wait on the beach there. Defense strength of 5, right on the beach. And I mean, I could even reinforce this even further with these guys. I'm allowed to do that. Just checking that's all legal. Yep, no strategic movement, no truck movement. That's okay, I haven't done that. Now we're really shifting out to the Utah area. And we are going to hurt the 82nd Division before they can even, get anything done. So how we're going to hit these two units in the point here. I might just focus one at a time. 1, 2, I'll try and go, I mean, I've got to stop them moving as well. I don't want them to be expanding their perimeter. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. They'll come in. 1, 2, 3. And that's about it. I do have this unit all the way up there. I don't know why they're rotated. Pretty sure I can bring them around. You can see them, they're way off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Could even push forward, make a forward defense of the blockage. May as well. Actually, we'll go 1, 2. How much does blockage cost? It costs 1 movement point to move into. So I can move right in there and then bring, I'll bring the 352nd around, just temporarily around to here. So, look, Allies already feel like they're in trouble. I know I keep saying that, it just feels terrible. Then, that's German movement pretty much done. I've got this headquarters here. I'll go 1, 2, 3, put them in that area so they can support, basically headquarters serve as sources for artillery. 5x range, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've moved, so they have to flip around to the move side. But yeah, from there they can support German defense of Utah and potentially German defense of sort of the Simi and Omaha area. All right, that's German movement. Now we have German combat, and there will be some German combat, which is kind of a bit unusual. Here we have... Okay, so the way this works, the way combat works, I've got to work through this kind of slowly so I don't make any mistakes, because it's easy to forget something here. You determine a main attacking force, your MAF, and this is basically a formation, like a division or a brigade. In this case, we're looking at the German 91st Division. They're all, incidentally, 91st Division, so there's no confusion here. This is a nice, easy combat to get us started. All units are of that main attacking force or formation, so they're all counted at full strength. If we, for example, had the Fallschirmjägers here attacking, they would not be of the main formation, so they would be attacking at half strength, rounded up, I think. And then you add everything together. Any armour that you want for armour shifts, I believe, has to be in the main attacking force. So if these guys were together, the armour with the Fallschirmjäger, I would have to consider who I declare as my main attacking force if I wanted those armour shifts. As it is, it's 10 attacking factors to 2 defending factors. And again, the scattered result doesn't... Oh, you know what I forgot to do is airborne, count all the airborne replacements. So I've got 2 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 airborne replacements. That's a lot. And I didn't count all these, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 British. Yeah, so each of those losses can be replaced by these airborne replacements. Okay, so if I've done this correctly, I've declared my main attacking force. Let's look at the terrain. It's bocage. So bocage gives the defender up to 3 defensive combat bonuses, DCBs basically. If you look, this is a great way of doing sort of defense. The attacker does all these column shifts. They can add artillery, they can do this, they can do that. The defender basically just adds the combat effects for the terrain they're defending in. So in this case, it's bocage up to 3 DCB. So they would get up to 3 defensive strengths for defending bocage, but you can never exceed the combat strength of the unit. In this case, 2, because it's a it's a very small cadre, 1-step cadre unit. So I believe their defense should be 2 plus up to 2 for a total of 4. I just want to double check that. I'm pretty sure cadres can take it. Yeah, that's it. No armor here, so we don't have to worry about any armor shifts or anything like that. What else does bocage do? Bocage stops retreat. It's basically a 5-to-1. No, sorry. It's 10-to-4 now, so that's 2-to-1. 2-to-1 combat. So here we go. Roll the die. A 2-to-1 2 is an A1, attacker 1-step result. It's a 1-step unit, so we might take a loss from those guys. And a A1 DR. The defender must retreat or conduct a determined defense. So they will... there goes their foothold over the Mediterranean River. They actually have to retreat 2 hexes. And this is where it gets interesting, because if they retreat 2 hexes, they're eliminated. They have to move 2 hexes and then 2 hexes away from the defender. They can't kind of zigzag. If they go here, zone of control, they're in trouble. In these circumstances, where they would be eliminated, they can make a determined defense. And this is another little series of rules. Determined defense. Okay. So we can attempt to cancel the retreat portion of this A1DR result by using the determined defense table. The way this works is basically we pick the lead unit. There's only 1 unit there. We consider their troop morale, which is +1, which is good. And we consider what terrain they're in. So they're not in flooded or clear, they're not in improved, they're not stronghold, it's other. It's going to be +1. I can call on defensive support. Can I call on naval support to help in this defensive? I think I can. So I'm going to use a naval unit. Naval units can be used for either column shifts in attack or column shifts for defensive purposes, such as, in fact, only in this case, the determined defense table. So, yeah, +1. So that's a +2 modifier. I need basically a 3 or more for this to work, and I roll a 6. Okay, this is good. 6 + 2 brings me to 7+. The determined defense, the retreat is cancelled, and an AL means any one attacking unit, the attacker's choice, takes a step loss. So a good result for the 82nd, despite their initial failures. So the Germans take 2 step losses to nothing for the Allies. So there you go. Okay, a bit of good news for the Allies after a bad landing. No other combats in the Utah area, but yeah, we've been kind of scared the 82nd at least. Over here though, we've got some good combats going on. We have they're in a town. Okay, so that's going to be a tough combat. We might just focus all our efforts on this hex here. I'm going to wipe out that little company. Sorry, reduced battalion. So we've got, okay, we'll designate, the way it works is we designate the 21st Division as the main attacking force. I can have, I believe, one, how does it work? Let me double check this main attacking force rules. You can, if non-formation units, oh no, they're all 21st anyway. That's a 21st Division silhouetted unit. So they're all in 21st Division. We also have armor superiority, so it's going to be pretty tough. Okay, so the attack strength. They are defending in what terrain is that? That is mixed terrain, which will give them up to 2 CB. They're a 1 strength unit, so I'll get 1 bonus point basically. Oh, one thing I forgot is troop quality. So the main attacking force troop quality, their best troop quality +1 is the same as the best defender's troop quality. So nothing happens there with troop quality. Armor, we get 1 column shift to the right because I have a grey armor rating. Grey armor, the armor rating is the middle number here. So 3, that grade 3 is the armor rating. And they have no armor, so I get 1 column shift for that. It's not a clear turn, so I don't roll on Jarboss table. That's it, I think. So we're looking at defending column. No armor, just the terrain. So it's an attacking strength of 12 to a defending strength of 2. So that's 6 to 1, pushed up to the 7 to 1 column because of my armor. These Brits are in trouble. I roll a 4, which is an, oh my god, an A1D2 result. A1D2. If the defender only had 1 step to lose, then the attacker loses none. So these guys are gone. It's an elimination. And we can advance. Now the advance rules in this, so for an A1D2 result, the attacker may advance after combat or place attacking units in reserve. So I could advance after combat. What I could do, I don't have any reserve tokens either, being an early version of the game. Well, I could potentially place these guys in reserve. They're happy defending sort of the road to Colombelles and Caen. So I'm pretty happy with where they are. But these guys, yeah, I could, when they move during the reserve movement phase, they move at half their speed. So I'm just kind of thinking 1, 2, 3, they could come all the way down here, as opposed to just moving sort of one hex in. The advanced after combat rules are interesting. You don't have to follow necessarily the retreating path. In this case, I mean, I just want to kind of advance in. I probably would want to follow that retreating path. Maybe I do just want to move in. Got more reinforcements coming through here. I'm not in a rush. Let's just drive towards the bridges. Yeah, okay. And that's pretty much it for German combat. I did kind of hint at the possibility of combat out here. Did I even move these guys? I don't think I moved these guys. So they don't want to hang around there. They'll go, apologies, this is a kind of delayed movement. They'll go one, what is it? Mixed terrain. So it's 1+1 to exit enemy zone of control. It's a minor river, so no effect for non-mech. So 1, 2, and then I'll just jump in there for 3. Okay, and again, there are sticky zones of control. Oh, Stephen, the Alien game, look, I probably didn't capture it well in the video, but that was a 4-hour game. And yeah, it was so tense. Ripley was knocked down once. Vasquez was knocked down and they both nearly died. We had this swarm of aliens. This is a completely different game we played on Thursday night. Yeah, the terrain looks really clear, Simon. There's slightly more terrain than Dark Summer. I mean, I showed you the kind of Dark Summer terrain effect sheet, but there's a few more. Well, actually, maybe not, because Dark Summer has woods and forests as 2 separate terrains. This just has what are called wooded terrain. And then you've got this mixed terrain. You've also got flooded areas and flooded hex sides. Minor and major, very similar, I think, in terrain, but the effects are very different. Much more complicated in Normandy 44. And I'm likely to make mistakes. All right, so, yeah, so no other German combat. Strong points can't move, so they're pretty static. I've lost my sequence of play, so I'm just trying to find that so I can... Alright, so we've done German movement, German combat. This is where I now will do reserve movement. So if I put those guys in reserve, they'd go, for example, 1, 2, 3. I could move them up to there, but I've got a really strong stack here. I'm pretty happy with that. German recovery phase. I can't recall what happens in the German recovery phase. What happens? Recovery, okay. Remove all replacement and disruption markers. Remove all reserve markers. Yeah, okay. Check the supply status, everything's good. Attrition, now we have the allied player turn. Whew, okay, and they're scared. What are we going to do here? Where are we going to push? This is the Douvres radar station. I have to push out to let the second wave. I've got to move. Yeah, I can't. I need to check. I don't think strong points exert a zone of control, and they don't contribute to ZOC bonds. So let me double check that. Where did I imagine that? Yes, strong point. Okay, the following units don't possess a ZOC. Here we go. Okay. So many different kind of things to remember. So, yeah, basically anything with a white circle doesn't exert a ZOC. So these guys can just kind of walk straight past them. 1, 2, 3, 4, all up to Buron, for example. So maybe the Germans should have defended that. Too late. But they're sticky zones of control. So I can move 1 hex out here and stop these guys. 1, 2. Should they link up and try and hit a strong point Hillman? I think that would be good. So they'll go there. Then we'll go 1, 2, 3 and really focus all our energy on strong point Hillman so we can clear the path going forwards. Yeah, I think, I mean, am I doing this right? There's all these sort of strong points in the rear here that don't seem to be doing anything. They don't possess a zone of control. They don't exert. They don't cancel movement. They don't. They don't exert. They don't create a ZOC bond. So I can just basically leave them there until I have stronger forces on the board, which is kind of what I want to do. I think that's a mistake I made last time I played this. I kind of focused all of these strong points and tried to clear them all out and didn't get anywhere. Got a big stack there, big stacks everywhere. You can move ZOC to ZOC, so I could shift these guys in. They can't move in there. This is a ZOC bond. So this is another feature of Mark Sandwich games, that units that exert ZOCs create bonds. So imagine sort of a little kind of imaginary wall through here and through here that enemy units cannot enter, which creates some difficulties basically. But we can go around it. We can go 1, 2 for exiting zone of control, 3, 4 to there. These guys can go 1, 2, 3, 4 into there. The armoured unit, I would like to attack there if I can. It's going to be tough. I'm kind of shifting because the Germans have blocked this kind of road here. I'm just going to use the... they decide to block here instead of defending out here, so I'm going to exploit where I can, basically. 1, 2 moving there. I'm sure there'll be some... Actually, maybe not. 2... Stacking there is 4 plus 1 free silhouetted unit. 4 plus 1 silhouetted unit, so it's all legal. Let's keep our tanks up here, I guess. Now I need to think about reinforcements. And how they come onto the board. I think, is it just a... Trying to figure out basically how I get this second wave on. I think they come on as... I did read it. They come on as reinforcements. Yeah. Units in the follow-up waves land in the movement phases. Reinforcements must follow the rules governing reinforcements. They use tactical movement that have half combat strength. Okay, so these come on. I land the engineers. They can use tactical movement to move 2 spaces. 1, 2. Is it worth getting a kind of hit on Langrund? 3 to 1. Don't even know what terrain that is. We might try that. Whew. Yeah, that's it for kind of... Oh no, we've got these guys here. Didn't notice these guys. All right, I think we have to get our engineers on because the engineers enable the arrival of reinforcements, I think. Is that how it works? In fact, I think I need the engineers first, and they have to be on the beach to enable reinforcements to arrive. I think. And now that they're on the beach and they open the beach up, then I can land these reinforcements. And they can land, do a tactical movement there. Yes, that was all legal, just kind of the way I did it. Over here, though, we might run into some stacking issues. We can land 1 unit, and now we've got a stacking here, I think, of 4, because I haven't cleared... I think that's right. They can do a tactical movement, but these guys stopped here because the Germans blocked here. So this is the typical sword beach bottleneck. And these guys cannot come onto the beach. Stacking prohibits them from landing. They must wait until the following turn to land. Yep. Now we've got the American sector to consider. And what do we want to do? Do we want to get that's a big stack. That's going to be defensive 7. And they'll be, boosted by their defensive combat bonus to 9. And the most you can attack with is 18 combat factors. So the best I can hope to do here is 2 to 1. They've got AT as well. So, it's just horrible. Let's get these guys into here, and they'll attack port and boss. That's a decent stack here. These guys will go 1, 2, 3, just to leave some space on the beaches. Then we'll get the engineers to arrive, and these guys will go tactical movement, tank. Then we've got these guys landing, a free silhouetted unit, and headquarters, which don't count against stacking. And there's a question about whether or not headquarters, when they land, are considered to have moved, or whether they can fire their artillery straight away. And I'm sure it's in the rules here somewhere under maybe supply or special rules, perhaps, about what these headquarters can do when they land. Special rules, nope, it's not there. So basically, headquarters are allowed to move 1 hex without flipping. If they move more than 1 hex, they have to flip over to their moved side. Now these guys have just arrived as reinforcements, so what does that mean? Movement. Bicycle units, German trucks, truck markers, Allied movement supremacy, exiting the map. Where will we find some information on headquarters? Headquarters, let's look at there's a good index here. H for headquarters, page, section 17.2. Sorry about this, folks. A bit rusty on the rules. 17.2. Okay, headquarters. Here we go. There's a whole section here, special units, headquarters. Doesn't say what happens on the turn they land. I'm gonna maybe, what do you think? Can they use artillery support on the turn they land? Maybe it's under combat headquarters. Yeah, I can see the section here, but I can't see anything about on the turn they land. Okay, so maybe it's best not to use it because I'm just not sure if they're allowed to. So that's the Omaha movement. Now we're going to look at sort of around this peninsula here, and God, it's a horrific. They're when is I'm looking at all these scattered markers. I'm wondering, when are they removed? It's removed in the recovery phase, which is towards the very end. Yeah. So we've got movement first, and these guys are all scattered so they can't move. These guys are not scattered, but they're in a zone of control. They could move into here, for example. Why not? It helps them a tiny little bit, I think, just to stop the Germans coming right up. These guys can move, but they can't move far because there's a Ost battalion exerting zone of control along here. So basically they're going to get one hex and yeah, they'll go 1, 2, they'll go 1. Then we can bring on some units of the second wave. And again, we'll bring on the engineers first to open the beach. Then we'll go these guys, and I can bring a silhouetted unit on. In fact, they'll stay there. I'll bring the full strength reinforcements on. They'll stay there as, no, they'll come down. They'll land. And yeah, I'm going to house rule that the headquarters land moved. Seems weird that they'd land and be able to fire their artillery immediately. Whew, okay. So, can I clear out these Ost? I'm not going to bother attacking into there, but the Ost troops here. That's it for movement. Now we've got American combat basically, and I have got 9. Okay, main attacking force is going to be the 4th Division. So I can all formations with the 4th Division. I've got 9 here, plus 9 is 18, and they are halved 20. But the maximum, as I just said, the maximum attacking factors is 18. So we're looking at 18 on 2. They're in blockage with up to 3 DCB, which gives them a defense of 4. So we're looking at 18 on 4, which is 4 to 1. Now, I get a column shift because their troops quality is 2, mine is +1. Oh, sorry, the main attacking force is 0, which is greater than. So 4 to 1 goes up to 5 to 1. My armor, is 3. Theirs is nothing. So another column shift up to 6 to 1. I could fire artillery, but I'm just going to hold. So 6 to 1, and a roll of 2 is an A1 D1 result. So they're eliminated, and with an A1 D1, I can advance after combat. So I've got to take a step loss. Now, another rule that I really don't like in this system is who picks the loss. In this case, I think the owner chooses the step loss. And I'll just remind you that the airborne units stacked with these guys did not participate in that combat. They were there, but scattered. I'll leave these guys. Take the step from there. Actually, yeah, take it from the 4th Division there. And we can advance, I believe, 2 hexes. So I could go 1 to clear some ground, and I could go 1, 2 up there, just to kind of clear some ground. All right. Was that legal? Did I do everything legally there? Or should they have been, were they reinforcements? Oh, I'm losing track of everything now. No, they were the first wave, weren't they? I could get an attack on there, 2 to 1. What is the terrain here? I think that's mixed. So they'd go up to 4, would be 1 to 1. I could bring in my navy, but I don't think I'll worry. Again, there's no rush to clear out those, I don't think there's a rush at least, to clear out those strong points. Now, there's a massive stack here of 8. Okay, I get 2 to 1. I wouldn't get armor superiority, but I would get no troop quality bonus either. I've got some first division units mixed in with the 29th. So it'd be 2 to 1. Actually, they'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 2 to 1 maybe if I'm lucky. Plus I can bring in the naval support. Or I could just wait and attack here instead. I think I'll attack there because... let me check these stacking rules and main attacking force rules, because there's something about a battle group. Yeah, no, they're not a battle group, are they? Any one unit may temporarily attach to the MAF by stacking with them. So that first division unit here, the 7, can attach to the main attacking force and be counted. So we've got 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. They'll all be counted. The problem is, what were the reinforcements? I think all these guys are halved, aren't they? That's the hard thing. How do you remember what the reinforcements are? There are no markers for these. So they'll all be halved. So I'm not going to worry about it. These guys, though, they're the original invasion force. They are at full strength. 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 is 7 to 1. They are in a town, which gives them 4. So what did I say? 14? 7, 13... Sorry, 7, 11, 14 on 4 is 3 to 1, 4 to 1 for the armor, 5 to 1 for the quality shift, troop quality, 6 to 1 for naval support. Yep. 6 to 1 and a roll. I need a good roll for once, please. A 4, 6 to 1, 4 is a D1 result. They're a 1-step unit, so they're eliminated. And the allies can advance. 1, 2. We'll hold Port Ambassador and move into there. Okay. Making some movements. Not great movements, but making some movements. Let's shift back down the line, because we started with Allied combat. We're going to do British Commonwealth combat now. And where can we attack? Not here, not here. This is the big one that we want to get off. Defense of 4 with mixed terrain gives them a defense of 6. So they're definitely with 6. I'm going to throw everything I can at this because I really want to wipe them out if I can. And I have, now these are just landers, they're at half strength. So I'm going to say that the main attacking force is the 3rd Division, and they are stacked together, so they count as well. So we've got 7, 8, plus 8 is 16, 17. I don't need more. 17 on 6. If I just add one more, those guys at half strength. Actually, they're 3rd. These are 3rd Canadian. This is 3rd Infantry. So 17, losing count. Yeah, 17, 18, 19 counting at half strength. And the rest of the formation will attack that strong point there. Which is, I believe, 3 to 1. We don't get armor superiority, but we do get troop quality superiority. 3 to 1 goes up to 4 to 1. 5 to 1 for our fleet support. 5 to 1. Are there any other rules? I'm sure there's some rules I'm missing. Oh, you don't get armor shift against improved positions, against strong points. That's something to remember. They count as improved positions, I think. And strong points defending by themselves don't get DCBs. That's another important rule to remember. Yes, they don't get DCBs when defending by themselves. Good to know, because I might launch some more attacks. Okay, so we're looking at what I say. It was initially 3-1, 4-1 for troop quality, 5-1 for our fleets, 5-1. A roll of 6 is an A1D2. That's going to wipe them out, and we suffer 1 step loss. Oh my god. A1. Let's take it. This is decisions. The step loss is chosen by the defender. I think they'll just take off one of these guys, and they are replaced by a Canadian cadre unit. So this is the Germans selecting this, and they'll advance 2 hexes, incidentally. So they don't have to go. They don't have to follow the kind of path of attack, but they kind of want to move into there. Yeah, they'll stop there. So they've moved to the outskirts of Caen. Buron and Éperon have been captured by the Canadians. Pretty close to historical, right? They kind of came down here. They bypassed Strongpoint Hillman. They came down this way and left it for, I think, was it the 51st Division historically? So yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry about that. I had to take the mic off. Okay. So, Strongpoint Hillman secured early and quickly by the Canadians and have moved on to the outskirts of Caen. We now have a lot of these forces. They are at full strength, so they're 6. We could maybe attack the radar station. They have good troop quality, but I've got 6 plus... Sorry, what did I say? Yeah, 7 plus half of that would be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It'd give me 3-1 odds on the radar station. Huh. I don't count armor shift. In fact, actually, I think the Germans might get a column shift for having a better defensive troop quality. Do you get defending column? Yeah, if the main attacking force... Oh, it's only if it's less than 0. If the main attacking force best troop quality is less than 0. If you are better than the best defender, you get a shift to the right. If you're less than 0, not less than the defender, which is interesting. And they're 0, so they're fine. So, yeah, I will attack the Douves radar station. This is my main attacking force, the 50th Division, with armoured unit attached, is a strength of 7. Plus these guys are not part of the main attacking force, but they're helping. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, rounded up. Doesn't really matter what weight rounds, it's 3 to 1. They don't get the terrain modifier. And I'll lend my support for 4 to 1. 4 to 1, a roll of 6 gives me a D1 result. Nice. Oh, they've got 2 steps. Interesting. So a D1 result. They must retreat or conduct a determined defense. Now I think they can't retreat, so they have to conduct a determined defense. If forced to retreat, basically they're eliminated. They may be used as a lead unit, so they have to make a determined defense. This is incidentally an improved position with a troop quality of +1. And I think I read that, yeah, so the city of Caen gives artillery support within 3 hexes. They're just outside that 3 hex range, so no artillery support. So it's improved position with a +1 die modifier, a roll of 2. It's not enough. So they fail their defense, and the defenders capitulate basically. And now, this is interesting, we can advance after combat, but of course, it's not a limited retreat, it's a, I believe I can kind of advance in the other direction. Let me check advance after combat. Yeah, the default advance is a 2 hex advance. Okay. In any direction, I'm not required to enter the defender's vacated hex. All units that participated may advance, not just units in the MAF. So these guys basically can advance. They can go 1, 2, because they were the supporting units. But these guys, actually, they might go 1, 2 and end in there. Actually, where were they? They'll go 1, 2 to create a Zoc bond. And these guys, who were here, will go 1, 2, and really, actually, we'll do that. Put the Germans in a sticky situation. So, interesting advance rules. I believe that's all legal. It's weird, but legal. There are some rules that say the Germans might want to kind of voluntarily eliminate some of their strong points to prevent that very thing happening. But that's the end of the Allied turn anyway, pretty much, so they don't need to worry too much. Now, they attacked, but these guys haven't, and they've just arrived, so they'll be half strength. 9 on... Ugh. 9 on 2, give me 4 to 1. No, that'll be half, sorry, so 3, 4, 5, it'll just be 2 to 1. 2 to 1, the 2 to 1 column... 2 to 1 column, is it worth knocking out? I don't think I will. I think I'll wait until I have greater strength. Again, there is no rush to clear out these strong points, I don't think. I'm kind of curious as to why apart from clearing a path, I don't need to rush to get them out. So that's the end, I think, of Allied combat. We then do the recovery phase, and this is where we try and save the Airborne. Not looking good. Again, just a reminder, 82nd Airborne absolutely shattered as a fighting force. We then have Allied supply phase. Everyone is in supply. So we, end the first turn basically and move on to the second turn. So that's just the first turn, and you can see it's a lot longer. It's basically taking an hour and a half to run through that first turn. So again, the level of abstraction in the Dark Summer, you play, 30 minutes of Dark Summer, and you work through a week of the campaign. 3 times that long to work through 1 day of Normandy, but much more detailed, granular, particular with the rules and what you're bringing into support, and the level of detail here is far more. Different games, different experiences, different sort of levels of detail. All right, we're up to the second phase. The first thing we do is we make a weather determination die roll. We basically roll actually on turn 2 there are special restrictions. It'll either be overcast 2 or overcast 3. This is fixed. So basically we roll a d6, it's a 6, so we put it on the overcast 3 space. Where is the weather marker? Overcast 3. And this determines how many improved positions, well, not until turn 5, but it will determine supply points, replacements, allied air power, and so forth. So let me kind of, it's still overcast, so German primary road movement is reduced. We haven't captured Aramonches Le Mans, and there are still Germans within 2 hexes, within a hex, I think, 2 hexes of Omaha. So we can't begin construction of the Mulberries yet. Both players now receive their supply points based on that weather roll. So the German player records his supply points, and he gets overcast 3, 2 supply points, 1, 2. Simple as that. I can give them either to the 7th Army or Cherbourg. Okay, the US 1st Army and the 2nd Army each receive 1 free supply point during overcast turns, so they get 1 each. Yep, that's correct. Then we get replacements. We shift now to, or is this the same phase? This is the replacements phase. Oh, well, part of sort of the same area. Replacements are received and are used to restore reduced and eliminated units. It's a 3. We rolled a 3, so the Germans get 1 infantry replacement. The Americans get 1 infantry replacement. The British get 1 infantry replacement. So we get 1 infantry replacement for each of these forces. Units can either, well, let's have a look at what the Germans want to do here. They lost some steps over here. These guys are all pretty healthy. So I don't know if you can see all the way up around here. They lost some steps. They're going to build this as a replacement step. I'm pretty sure that's pretty straightforward. They put a replacement marker on there, which means they can move at most 1 hex and can't attack. It's not too punitive, really. Yeah, simple as that. The Americans get 1 infantry. What do they want to do? 101st. We've also got a lot of airborne replacements, which I need to check on. So let's say 4th Airborne. Sorry, 4th Airborne, 4th Infantry Division. Yeah, down here. We'll try and focus on quarantine as quickly as possible. That's 1 American. We now look for 1 British replacement. And we've got the Tyne T's way out here in front. They're leading the charge. I think it'd be good just to keep them healthy. So they'll take the British replacement. And it is British, not Commonwealth. It's much harder to replace the Canadians. Well, not harder. It's a 1 in 3 chance, or it's 50% for the British. Now, Allied airborne divisions receive a maximum of 1 replacement point per division. So we'll get 1, 2, because there are 2 divisions. What do we do? Well, the Germans just took replacements there, so they can't attack, so I'm not so worried here. Don't know if you can see all the way out here, sorry. But it's just... Maybe I'll take 101st replacement, but then they can't attack either. Look, I think we've got a foothold here over the murder rare, so let's take them. This is Cadre Unit A. We look at the Cadre chart just off to my right here off camera, and they'll build up a step. Okay. And then we've got, well, we do have a 101st, so that's the 82nd replacement, 101st Division. These guys behind the lines here will go up to full strength. And we have our replacements taken. That was pretty good. Now we've got British replacements. Well, there's not much they can do. One replacement. Yeah, that's about all they can do. And of course, they took replacements. And they took replacements as well. And who else took replacements? This 4th division, didn't they? Okay. And that's all the replacement counters, so that must mean they've all been done correctly, I hope. So, that is, if I've done it correctly, the replacement phase done. Both players flip over all in supply headquarters. So now the headquarters, I believe, flip over and are ready. And we begin with the German player turn. So turn 2, German player turn. And now, of course, we have German reinforcements. So we have... okay, so now we should do replacements. What? So replacements don't happen until... Okay, so you receive replacement points, but you don't build your replacements yet. So the Allies don't technically build these yet. My apologies. Replacements are placed during your specific phase. Okay. And the Germans are eyeing off this vulnerable 6th Airborne unit here. There's also a gap out here they need to watch out for. They can get out of here. They can move ZOC to ZOC. Move out here. They really need to shift around. So it's kind of a difficult decision here. So they've moved. And they have to stop, I believe. I think I mentioned that earlier. You can move ZOC to ZOC, but you must stop. Yep, that's correct. As long as you don't cross the ZOC bond. I kind of need to defend these 2 hexes here, but where is everyone? Well, maybe once I bring German reinforcements on, that will solve some of these problems. So let's look at our German turn 2 reinforcements. There's actually quite a lot coming on, so this will... We've got a big stack of 12 SS division units plus a scattering of others. This big stack comes in towards the south east corner, and they come in the top right. So you can see the red flags on the edge of the board. That's basically where they come on. So these guys, these are motorized infantry. And yeah, they're going to look at this unit here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they'll go in there. Now these guys are also active because at the start of their movement turn 2, there are allies in their area, so they will advance into there. Excuse me. Now these guys. Still half movement along these roads, so it doesn't really matter about the primary road. This is where I'm thinking these guys bring the 21st around. I always do this. I always put the 21st straight down here. Oops. Yeah, it's easy to bring the 21st around out to the west and let the 12th SS take up this position. So let's see what I can do. It's 1, 2. Okay, let me check if cities... Do city hexes block zones of control? Are they negated? Yeah, no, basically you got to stop upon entering a zone of control. So it's hard for the Germans to move through here. So we'll go one, actually, yep, we'll bring these guys around. Can they make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? They can't, so we don't want to pull too far back. Actually, some of these have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just a reconnaissance unit there. So reminder, 2 stacking points, 2 stacking points, free silhouette stacking. That's it. So that's German turn 2 reinforcements. They've rushed on. Yep, they've rushed on. I've now got a difficult choice. Either attack the 6th Airborne, or actually, well, let's look at what else I can do. Security unit. 1, 2. They could be. Oh, they're defense only. 21st Panzer down here. Got to somehow stop Canadians from moving out into this area. I need to occupy Carpiquet and the open terrain here. This is difficult because it's an important hex. It doesn't provide any defensive combat bonus at all. It's horrifically difficult to defend. I needed that hex right there. That would have been a good defensive hex with its mixed terrain. All right, so I need to bring a lot into here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they could go in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for leaving the zone of control. Then 1, 2, 3 to bolster that. It's not ideal, but yeah, has to be done like that. Now, security. My problem now is how to get in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all I can do. But it is a town which will bolster my defense. Security unit, I might bring them around this way. 1, 2. Yeah, okay. Or do I bring more of these panzers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can't. I've got to move something into column. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I'm going to have to bring these into the city. 1, 2 into there. That's probably better anyway. They can always pull back and then come around. This unit 1, 2, just holding them down. And this is a nice reconnaissance unit from the 21st Panzer. They can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3. They can actually jump in there, which gives me adequate stacking. That's legal, not just adequate, but legal stacking. And that's it. I think I've done all my movement out in this area. Ost troops could move, and they can move ZOC to ZOC, but they'll hold on to Merville. This is Merville Battery. Yeah, Germans are happy with everything that's going on out there. It's interesting. Both sides are just like, that'll do. Now, I'm holding Aramelchus, but there's a gap here, so I'm going to have to give it up. Do I make the allies fight for it? If I hold there, it's a town. It could give me sort of... It could be good on defense. The town would... wow, give me 4 combat defense, but up to 2, I guess, if I leave one of those units there. Let's pull these guys back to Bayou and think about the situation. I think I'm going to leave 1 unit there, noble sacrifice, and bring these guys down to here. Oss troops can move. They'll go 1, 2, 3. We'll continue holding there. That's a good. Or will we? Yeah, forward defense, the way to go, right? There's no ZOC bond here, but they have to stop upon entering a zone of control. There's a bit of a... I'm concerned about sort of the vulnerability of these guys. I can't recall where they were. If they moved to there, surely they could have gone... I can't just leave a wide open gap there. It'll have to do for now, I think. Yeah, this looks really vulnerable. They started 1850, so they've come up the road, have they? 1815, St. Lo. They've gone 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Defend there with the Oss troops, but then big gap, big gap, big gap. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, they'll do that. Very, very weak line of defense. And they're both picking mixed terrain rather than bocage to defend in. Doesn't really matter. They can only get a maximum of 2, but that boosts their defense to 4. Look, we'll hold there and hope for the best. All right, looking out towards Cotentin again. Look, pretty good position for the Germans. They'll hold in. They'll bring some armor up. Everything there's okay. Volkswagen here. They will... push in. We'll try and hurt this cadre. We'll go bring some reinforcements towards Quarantaine. This is 3rd Division. I can bring all... actually, I can bring one more. 1, 2, 3 for a big stack there. And then hold these guys... 1, 2 there, just in case. We'll see what happens. Yep, that's German movement. Now, German combat. Oh, look, there's another thing I need to think about, and that is the 243rd Division. I released the 709th and the 243rd. These are special release units. You can see them up here and along the top here. The other thing I should be doing is flipping over these naval markers, and the Allies also get 1 air unit each while on this turn. All right, 243rd. Okay, here we are. I had a page open right in front of me. So in turn 2, I can take one unit from each box and place it on one of the division's mobilization hexes. Okay, so basically I pick one of these units. Look, Utah landed some good tanks, so I'm going to grab my anti-tank unit, and they can come on, wherever you see this little symbol. I'd like to get something around towards Karen 10 down here, so we're going to put it there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we'll leave it there. I don't want to put it out in the open anywhere. Oh, it's a lockbone anyway, but yeah, we'll leave them there. And then over here, where are their symbols? Yeah, right at the top here. Same again. They'll land there, and I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Blockage movement cost is 1. 5. So defense only. Actually, maybe they don't need to go there. We'll go there. That boosts our AT. Negates basically the use of allied armor to the north there, near Monteborg here. Okay, so now German movement done, German combat. And we want the Fallschirmjäger here to attack. Our main attacking force is the 6th Fallschirmjäger. They can bring in this armor to support their attack. The armor is attacking across a flooded hex side. But that applies... Okay, so their attack is halved. I need to check if armor can actually do that. There's a lot of armor restrictions. And it's, I don't know where to find it. I think they can attack across it. I mean, they can... Where are we looking here? We're looking at... yeah, German armor. It's actually a minor river. They're trying to attack across a minor river into a flooded hex. I think that's okay. They're halved. I recognise that. So they'll be 1 plus 1. So 7 basically on 4. Oh, maybe it's not worth it. Down to 1 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have artillery support here, but they're not that much of a threat really. I'm not going to worry. Germans are on the defensive. All I would do is wipe out that cadre unit. We're not going to attack there. We're not going to attack here in a good defensive position. We aren't really attacking. I'm looking down here near Caen. Could get a 21st Division counterattack going. That's also across a minor river there. So that would be halved as well. So 4, 5, 6, 7 be 2 to 1. With armor support, 3 to 1. Very tempting. To 1, it would let me. It's just. It could backfire. The CRT for 3 to 1. 1 in 3 chance of a D1 result. 1 in 3 chance. It's actually 50% chance of taking losses myself, and I'm already in a pretty vulnerable position here. plus they could draw on. Oh no, they wouldn't get any support. I could draw on my artillery support to make that 4-1. Yeah, let's give it a go. But the problem is, I don't really need the hex. Even if they retreat, I'm not advancing anywhere. I'm really just doing it in the hope of causing a hit. And there's a 50% chance of causing an, actually 4 out of 6 allied hit. 2 out of 6 I take a hit. And like I said, I'm already vulnerable. It's a bit risky. I'm not going to worry. It doesn't achieve all that much. So yeah, no German counterattack. A bolder German player might have done that, but not me. All right. German movement's done. German recovery. This is where I move this replacement marker, I believe. And German supply. Everyone is okay. Allied player turn. Now we get the allied replacements, and we go. I think I've already deducted them, but it was what? 1 airborne, 2 airborne. Oops, wrong thing. What have I done? One airborne, 2 airborne. Then we had the 4th Division here. We had 50 Division here, and we had that airborne there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. I should note as well, you accumulate these replacements. You don't have to spend them immediately, but I think everyone is happy to. We could have spent some more German armoured replacements as well. So I have to keep that in mind. Sometimes you are forced to spend replacements if they're like Panther Tiger tank replacements or low German infantry troop quality replacements. Oh, sorry, just cut out briefly there. I'm running low on battery, so I'm going to have to really plough through this allied turn. Okay, so allied movement, and we get 6, this is important, we get 6 Commonwealth reinforcement points and 6 American reinforcement points. If we can spend these reinforcement points to bring on these units, depending on what we spend. We are heavily restricted though in what we can do until the mulberries are built. Yeah. So, where does it say? Reinforcement. Okay, allied 6 replacement points. I should have been. Yeah, so we get 6 US, 6 replacements. They may not be accumulated, they must be used or lost. But they are limited in where they can be landed. So basically, no more than 4 through each beach. So as the Americans get sort of 6, I could got to think about what I want to land. I could land 2 groups of 3. I could land the 2nd Division, for example, at Omaha as reinforcements, and I could bring the 90th Division or the 79th or the 9th, doesn't really matter, over at Utah. That might be the way to go. Just bring them on one at a time, bring these divisions on. It costs basically 3 reinforcement points to bring on one of these. I think I'll do that. So they come on, I'll do that in just a moment. Commonwealth forces, same again, I think I'll bring on the maybe 2 units of the 51st and bring them on at adjacent beaches. So Gold and Juno seems to be a good place for them to link up. So they're my 12 points. I spent basically 4 lots of 3. My engineers are all in place, so there's no reduction there. They must use tactical movement. Yep, that's it. So now move it. And I want to reinforce these guys. So we'll bring the command. There we go. What have we got to bring? 3rd Division straight across the bridge with some tanks. 1, 2. 1, 2. They've got to stop, don't they, upon entering enemy zone of control. What about these guys? They're in the clear. Okay. I'll come down there, I guess. These forces who landed last turn will go 1, 2. I would like to get them across the bridge. They'll hang about there. Tanks can come maybe just occupy that position there. Just looking at my formation. So I will bring 50th Division into the centre around here. I'm just trying to think of where to hit. Strength of 6 in the clear seems to be the place, but I can't get a big attack going. Maybe clear out the beach here first. Okay. So zone of control to zone of control. They'll just move there. We'll bring these guys on. They'll tactical move to there. Bring these guys on. They'll tactical move to there. And then we'll get these guys just to fill that space there. And there. They're actually pretty strong, so that's it. And then these guys come on here and tactical move to there. Oh, and now I have my gliders. These are special units. In fact, my batteries are better on flat, so if it dies, I apologise. Where do the gliders go? They arrive in the initial phase of turn 2. Oh, they should have landed earlier. Oh, crikey. Okay. They landed in the initial phase. That's my mistake. That should have been the very first thing to happen on the turn. Okay, so they still roll for scatter. So this glider unit here rolls for scatter and is scattered and takes a step loss. What would you expect from an airborne unit? Where are they placed? Turn 2, British Airborne. There's a line pointing to here. So this is their landing zone. That was unoccupied anyway, so that's safe. We also have these guys. They would have landed there. think they're delayed one turn basically, so they're coming on turn 3. I have to remember that. All right, Allied movement. We've done the Commonwealth forces out here. These guys. Bayou is now occupied, but as I said, this was the weakness, and the Americans know it, and we're not going to worry about that stack there. We're just going to try to drive around them. What have we got here? 5th Rangers. Maybe we'll send the Rangers out to Bayou to occupy this area. One, two, three. Oh, actually, it's quicker than that. There's a road. 1, 2. We'll move right up there, actually. And then these guys will go 1, 2, 3. That's kind of a 1st Division stack, so we'll try and get our other 1st Division units who somehow moved over here. They'll go 1, 2. Actually, they can't go that far. 1, 2, 3, 4. And somehow 1st Division is ending up on the left side of Omaha. They'll just come in here a bit. Where were they? Tanks, tanks, tanks. 1, 2. They won't get the armor shift, but they'll add to the strength. 2nd Division. Maybe these guys can come up to here, and we'll bring 2nd there. Oh, they can tactical move. So bring the tanks up here with them and leave them behind. 1, 2. Okay. They can only defend, so it's not going to be a huge attack, but it'll have to do. And they'll be at half strength because they're a different division as well. But it'll have to do. Actually, I can bring the 29th in there. And that'll have to do. So it's not going to be a huge punch through because I somehow got my divisions mixed up. Over around Utah. Geez, it's tough going. Okay, these guys come on and I go bring them to there. These guys can tactical move, not very far. I want to try and concentrate my efforts down the south here. With the 101st if I can. 1, 2, 3. These cadre units can now move, so they can go 1, 2. That's a bit scary, but yeah, I'm prepared to 1, 2, there we go, reinforcing with some armor. That's it. Now, Allied combat phase. And I wonder if I've got enough to... Oh, that's a massive stack of 11. Oh, no. I am going to get armor superiority, surely. Yeah, okay. They don't have armor here. So it's going to be 1 to 1, I'm pretty sure. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 1 to 1. 2 to 1 for my armor. 3 to 1 for my troop quality. 4 to 1 for my artillery. So here we go. This is where the Allies really bring in their support. Do I spend an artillery point here just to push up one more? I think that's what the artillery is for. So 5 to 1 for my artillery. And I also have an air unit. And I'll throw in my air unit here because I feel like this could be important. 6-1 on this stack. Let's roll well. A 3 is okay. So what did I say? I've forgotten what I was rolling. 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1. 6-1, 3 is a D1 result. Perfect. And they'll take that. And a D1 means that they must retreat or conduct a determined defense. And this is just other terrain, and they don't have great troop quality, so very slim chance. Very, it's basically a 1 in 3 chance. No, yeah, 1 in 3. They may as well attempt it, I guess. Determined defense. They fail. They have to retreat 2 hexes. 1, 2. And now the Americans can advance. Again, just a reminder they can advance wherever they want, but and 2 hexes too, but I'll do that. Okay. And they'll just stack with them there. No, they can't. Sorry, illegal. And that's pretty much the only American combat out around Utah. There should be more over here though. So here we have, they're going to have a defense of 4. I've got to have 10, I'm going to have a 1st Division attack. They can be considered 1st Division, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15 on 4. Oh, it's so close. 3-1. 4-1 because of my armor. 5-1 for troop superiority. 5-1, 1 is a terrible roll, but it's a DR. So 1, 2, and we advance. We go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's it for Omaha. Around here on the coast, we're going to get an attack here. 12, 15 on 4. Again, so close. So 3-1, 4-1 for armor, 4-1, 5-1, 5-1, 2 is a DR result. They'll make a determined defense, and they roll a 6. This is in a town, which is other terrain, which is an exchange result. So they die. They take a step loss. The retreat is cancelled though. Have I done that legally? Where are the rules for determined defense? That's what I want to know. Combat, 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 movement. Surely it's somewhere around retreat somewhere. Okay. I get a limited advance, so I can advance into the hex. That's all. All right. I've only got 2% of battery life, so I'm going to have to stop it here, folks. But yeah, there's a few more. Is there any more attacks to go on? Maybe not. Maybe one here. 6, no, probably no more attacks. So that, oh, maybe some strong point attacks along the coast here. But that'll run out the end of the second turn, and yeah, I'll continue from there. Thanks as always, folks. Take care, and see you soon.